Hey guys, Literaturacity here, and one of the biggest questions I get asked is how do I make reading fun? I'm not a big reader, or, I used to read, but now I've stopped. How do I make it fun again? Well, I've compiled a list of 5 short tips to make reading fun again. So, here we go. Step number 1 is to not get intimidated by the size or difficulty of books. This happens so often with people. They look at a book and it's like, oh, it's too big. I don't want to read it. I don't have 7 million years to read that book. You don't need to read a book in a week. You can take several months if you need to, as long as you enjoy it. I get it, you don't want to pick something up and then never finish it because it's like, oh wow, I failed at what I wanted to do. Don't be afraid of that failure. I put down books for months and then returned to it almost half a year later and skim through and refresh my memory of what happened and get right back into it. And I enjoyed the book that way. That's just how my schedule worked out. And as for the difficulty, try to expand your vocabulary. If you don't know words, look them up. It's not that hard. Now I'm like yelling at you, like, wow, you're really bad. I'm sorry. Step number 2 is to find a style or genre that you like. People are subjected to things in schools where they are forced to read books that they may not like. Some of the books that are taught in schools, especially American schools, are boring. And this turns people away from reading because they're like, okay, all books are now boring because all the books that people want me to read are boring. So there's no fun books ever, and I'm just going to play video games. Now, video games are awesome and all that. I'm a huge gamer, but there are really fun books. Go on sites like Goodreads or something and look around, see what people are reading. I guarantee if you have a Facebook, you have so many friends on Goodreads that you don't even know read. If you like movies, see if there's books based on the movies. That's how I started reading a lot. I'm like, oh, I like this movie and it's based on a book, so I'm going to go read it. Maybe try those things out. Step number 3 is kind of relating back to what I just said previously, is to join sites like Goodreads or become an active member of Literaturacity. This really helps because it builds a sense of community. You're not just reading for your own pleasure, but you're reading to attribute to a community. Goodreads is kind of like a Facebook for readers. You can update your statuses of where you are on certain books and what you think, and sometimes people will comment. You can join book clubs on Goodreads, and Goodreads is a great site. I love it. I'll post a link down in the description of my Goodreads account. Again, try to find communities of people that read and just jump right in. We're friendly people. We don't bite hard. Step number 4 is to keep a reading journal. A reading journal really helps, solidify things in your mind. The act of actually writing things down really helps the brain remember things. So if you're one of those people that are like, every time I pick up a new chapter, I forget the characters' names and I forget what happened last time, keep a reading journal. I guarantee you won't even have to read back into it in order to remember what just happened, because your brain goes through this entire process when it writes things down, and it pretty much just ingrains everything in your mind, and it's amazing. Also, it serves as a good point if you ever want to be like, oh, what were the themes in this book? You just have quick little notes where you're like, oh, this happened, this happened, this happened, instead of being like, okay, what was that thing that I read 5 million years ago? If you're one of those slow readers like me, I am a slow reader. So keep a reading journal. It's fun, and I have one. I actually have a blog. I'll post a link to that in the description too. Self-promotion, yay. Step number 5 kind of goes out to people that are probably around the middle school, high school area, is don't be afraid of what people will think about you if you are seen reading a book. Honestly, if people are like, oh my god, you're reading a book, wow, who reads for fun? That's stupid. Honestly, they probably are very closed-minded people and just want people to like them. This was something I faced while growing up a lot. I was always made fun of because I always had 3 books in my bag, and I was reading back and forth because my brain gets bored with one story really easily, and reading multiple books really helps me out. So maybe that's another way to make reading fun. Read multiple books at the same time, but that's 5 subsection A part 2. So back to what I was saying is don't be afraid what people say about you or they think about you, because honestly, reading makes you a better person, and it puts you in situations that you can never imagine being in, and you get a lot of support from books, and you get a lot of morals, a lot of life lessons that probably will come earlier to you than those people. So you'll be all super duper mature and getting all the babes, and they'll be like, I'm still 5 years old intellectually, and I can't count to 5. Yeah. Those people suck. Alright, well, those are my top 5 tips for making reading fun again. If you guys have any other tips for making reading fun again, put them in the description below, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for future updates. We're going to be posting videos kind of sporadically while we're getting things started here. Hope you guys enjoy it.